Greetings, salutations, respect, and love, boys and girls. Guess what, kiddies? You're in the Prog corner, and today, I'm excited. You can see behind me, I got a wall of Italian prog, so I'm talking about a great new Italian prog album that I have been really enjoying for the last couple weeks. It's the new one from Il Bacio Della Medusa, Medusa's Kiss, band formed in Perugia in 2002. They dropped their debut album in 2004. Look at that album cover. It's so cool. People hanging from the gallows and spheres turning into dice in midair and stuff. Cool album cover. The album itself, though, is a little lacking in prog, man. It's kind of more like a hard rock album. They certainly improved on their sophomore album, Discesa Anglinfera d'un Giovanni Amante. That's a fantastic record. They brought some keyboards up front in the mix and just a really cool record. Another 4 years go by and they dropped their third album, Du Le Vult. Really cool album cover, great album. I really like it. And then in 2018, they dropped their fourth album, See Me, which kind of signaled the change of direction for the band. Had a lot more electronics, sounded very modern, with blips and that kind of stuff going on. Pretty cool. I liked it. But man, oh man, this here new one is called Imilla, and it is just outstanding, man. I have only given 2 perfect scores all year. Is this going to be the third? Well, stick around. Let's find out. As I was going through my catalog of videos, it turns out I've only reviewed 1 Italian album in the whole 20 months I've been on the air as the Prog Corner. So we're fixing that today with this one here. Who is Il Bacio Della Medusa? Well, it's Simone Cecchini on vocals, Diego Petrini on drums and keyboards. So he's doing like a Shane Atkinson over there at Evership, playing both keyboards and drums. And you see Dude Man's drum set. It's cool. He's got little keyboards like tucked away in between the toms and whatnot. It's cool. Bass player Federico Capri. Flutes and sax are handled by Eva Morelli, and we have a change in personnel on this album. Simone Brazetti's no longer in the band, but we've got Eva Morelli's kid brother, Andre Morelli, on guitar, and he's really great. But this album started out as a acoustic piece that Simone Cecchini had written, and he delivered it to Diego, and they fleshed it out as a full band concept. But you do still hear the acoustic nature of a lot of these songs. The Bolivian folk nature of some of these songs definitely shines through. It's a whole different animal. Nothing like this has ever been recorded by this band or probably by any other band. This album dropped August 25th on AMS, which is an Italian label. Apparently there is going to be red vinyl on this thing, man, and I desperately need that. So the story here, this is a concept album. It's about a chick named Monica Ertel, who is a German Bolivian girl. Her dad was a Nazi propagandist, and they moved from Germany to Bolivia, and at some point, she gets all clicked up with Che Guevara's people. And when Che Guevara got captured and tortured and killed by the CIA in 1967, a dude named Colonel Roberto Quintalina Pereira cut his hands off so that they could identify him positively, because Che Guevara had changed his identity, cut his beard off and dyed his hair, and he looked a mess. Nobody knew for sure if it was really him. So this chick, Monica Ertel, goes ahead and kills Colonel Pereira back in 1971, and she was subsequently caught, tortured, and executed in 1973. Apparently, she was on her next mission to abduct Klaus Barbie, who somehow ends up in this story. The Butcher of Lyon was also in South America, so she was going to try to abduct him and bring him to France to stand trial. But that didn't happen because she got killed along the way. So what is the deal with this album, man? I am so into this. The story's great. The music really does reflect that storyline, late 60s, early 70s, South America. It got that feeling and that spirit, but it's really cool. Starts with a song called Un Visto per la Bolivia. A trip to Bolivia, I guess, and it starts with the sound of a typewriter, and next thing you know, the typewriter starts getting into a rhythm, and then you hear a staccato acoustic guitar, ching, 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 come along with the typewriter. It's exciting. It's really cool. Then you get some spaghetti western vocals, which definitely adds to the flavor of what you're doing here with some acoustic guitar in the background. You get a little bit of a tritone in the chord progression here, and some squonking tenor sax, which then turns into a ship's horn, which is pretty cool. And then it turns into like a train whistle, and then the next song starts, and you hear this major fourth, this perfect fourth in the riffage, and then you hear this siren in the back, which is actually a perfect fourth, so it's really cool. It makes a whole lot of sense. Very King Crimson-y riff they're playing around with here in A minor. And then the vocals start, and we are treated to one of the coolest chord progressions I've ever heard, man. I thought we were going around the circles of fifth here. But it's doing something totally different. It starts out in A minor, then it goes to F, then to B flat to E flat, and then A flat to D flat, and then G flat to B, and then it goes to A flat continuing, but it switches to A flat minor. So we're doing the same thing over again, but instead of A minor, we're in A flat minor here. So it goes A flat minor, E to A to D to G to C to F to B flat, just to get back to the main riff. It's just a really, really cool, intricate, bizarre, awesome chord progression. I absolutely love it. The third track is called La Dolorida, and apparently this is the name of the hacienda that the Ertls built in Bolivia. I guess they were going to do some farming and stuff like that before the revolutionary bug hit them. This song starts with acoustic guitar. We're in G. We are toggling back and forth between G and F. And then you get some distorted guitar with the saxophone squonking in the background. And then the middle section picks up some steam. And it's kind of like a cross between klezmer and ska music. So I don't know what I'm listening to. Is it Black Country New Roads, or is it the Specials? Really cool. The beginning section comes back in. You get a sax solo. Then you get a guitar solo. Kind of cute how the Morelli siblings are trading riffs in this song. Very cool. Next up is Zio Klaus. Uncle Klaus. So I guess we're talking about Klaus Barbie here. And this starts real gothic with a gothic organ. We're toggling back and forth between G and F, but this time we're in G minor. So it gives it a whole spooky, kind of creepy feel. The distorted guitars come in and add a whole bunch of ambiance to this. And Simone's vocals, he's just going crazy, just ripping his vocal cords to pieces. And then halfway through the song, it totally changes up. And next thing you know, you're in the land of benefit or stand-up early Jethro Tull with the bluesy guitars with the flute in the background. Just awesome. What a cool track. Zio Klaus. I love it. Then we get something called Dentro Monica Qualcosa Non Va, which I guess means there's something wrong with Monica. Well, clearly she was, because she turned into a commie, man. Something's definitely wrong with her. Real soft flute intro. You get almost like a reggae guitar thing going on in the verses because he's strumming on the upbeat. And then the chorus kicks in and it's just so much fun. Dentro Monica Qualcosa Non Va. It's just awesome, man. You got me singing and pumping my fist. These guys don't do a whole lot of shows, but I've seen a few on YouTube, and it's just so great. Eva Morales, she's playing like David Jackson. She's got a soprano sax in one hand, and she's got the alto sax in the other, and she's blowing them both at the same time. Just so cool, amazing. And Andre, at the end of the song, gets to shred a really good solo there. Just a keeper. What a great track. Next up, O Vista Gli Oche di Into Vivare a Nero. Something about when I looked into Inti's eyes, they were black. Because Inti is the guerrilla leader that took over the ELN after Che Guevara died, and our girl Monica was all clicked up with him. Song starts out as like kind of gypsy music in B. So you're going between B and C. And there's a whole lot of Phrygian all the way through this album, which makes sense because if you think of like Spanish flavored music, you always think of that 1 to the flat 2, Recuerdos del Alhambra and all that kind of stuff. You got saxophone with like a wah-wah guitar, really cool. You got a bluesy riff, and then at the last 75 seconds of this track, it turns into a real soft jazz kind of outro. Unexpected, very cool. Next up is Senior Service, very somber track in E minor. Real great vocal melody on this. And the chorus, I don't speak Italian, so whenever they say something that I actually understand, I love it. And he says, mi amor, a bunch of times in this song, and I really like it. You get an upbeat riff, kind of like similar to the first riff, but it's faster and it's really driving and awesome. Diego's drumming here. He's a weird drummer, man. He really is. Is he a keyboard player first, drummer second? I don't know, but it's just odd, and I love it. I've never heard drumming quite this strange. Clearly, there is no click track going on these songs. You got the rhythm guitar with all the effects. Very 70s, right? If you think of like rhythm guitar playing from the 70s, with maybe like a little chorus or flange in the background. Very great. I just love that sound. Next up is Lo Specchio di Hans Ertel, the Mirror of Hans. And this one starts out like 10 years after, or the Marshall Tucker Band or something, real soft and sweet with that flute playing. And the flute goes through the melodies a whole bunch in this track. Really, really great. You're in D major here, and the chord progression's awesome. It goes D to D7. To G, to B flat, to C, and then back to D. Very 70s chord progression. Whenever you go from the tonic and then you put the 7 on there, I always think, it just sounds real old timey. And again, with that flute, flowing in and out of the melody. Again, real 70s. And then you get a little hint of the circle of fifths from earlier on in the album, that chord progression we heard earlier. And then we get to the final song called Colt Cobra 38 Special. And, all these songs are kind of like right around 5 minutes. There's no long epics on here. This one here is 5 minutes and 39 seconds. Starts with 3 shots and a car speeding off. So I guess Monica has done her deed in Hamburg. She killed the dude. I guess the colonel was working in Germany for the Bolivian council, and she went over there and killed that guy. And then went back to Bolivia and started looking for Klaus Barbie. You got a real up-tempo flute riff going on here as we go back and forth between A minor and B minor. Some really nice keyboard work in the background here. These guys don't use a whole bunch of keys, probably, because the keyboard player is the drummer, but when they do, really sounding good here. So you got real good atmospherics going through a bunch of changes on this song. Somehow you end up with that staccato riff from the beginning again, but no typewriter. Yeah, it's so cool. I didn't even mention that first riff, that first song, the typewriter, the staccato riff. And then a kazoo comes in, man. I forgot about the kazoo. Can't talk about this album without the kazoo. So then you get some borrowed chord progressions from that first song again. And, with the keys, you're kind of going in some different directions here. And then the acoustic guitar comes back in, and we get some more of the spaghetti western vocals. And before you know it, it's over, man. This is a short album. It's only like 43 minutes long. Perfect for a single disc on vinyl. I'm so excited to get that. I don't have it on order, but I should probably order it quick because I know they didn't make a whole bunch of these. But yeah, like I said, I haven't done any 5 headphone reviews in a while. I think I've only done 2 all year. Make it 3, man. My score here is 5 headphones. I absolutely adore this thing. You guys know how I feel about Italian prog. But I just love this one. Listen to this one. Give this one a chance. It's a really, really cool, unique, interesting record with a great concept, done really well with amazing artwork, and that's important to me too. I'm a prog rock guy, man. I love album cover artwork. So anyway, that's Il Bacio Della Medusa's 5th album, man, Imilla, which apparently means a young girl in one of those Bolivian, I think it's Aymara is the indigenous language of Bolivia. Anyway, that is it, man. Peace in the Middle East, free Tibet, and God save the king. Save that king in the UK. Yes, indeed. He needs your saving. Yes, he does. I'll see you punks later. Peace. Sunday, yeah, don't let me forget, Sunday Prog stream. We're going to do it again Sunday, 1 o'clock. Be there. Peace.